People stop doing their spiritual practice when they need it the most. This is universal, and I'm sure you can relate to this. You may start you may start a meditation routine, a regimen, and you're doing that every single day. But then someone in your family dies, and you stop doing it. That's when you need it the most. Hello, people. That's when you need it the most. You can't stop your spiritual practice because things are going on in your life. If something's going on in your life, you should be doing it even more because that's when you need it even more. You should be doing it well before you need it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mystic Temple Spirituality for a New Age. I'm Monica Bay, also known as the Divine Mother, and I am here to bring you truth. All right. So before we get started today, I'm excited about Divinity session number 16. But before we get started, I just want to announce, I have one announcement to make about Mystic Circle magazine. So the May issue of Mystic Circle magazine was just released. If you didn't catch it, you're catching it now. So it was just released this week. And so in this is a special release of Mystic Circle magazine. And for those of you who don't know, Mystic Circle magazine is owned by Mystic Temple. It is part of our nonprofit and part of our Global Awakening Initiative as well. It is a free magazine for all that gives you lots of great insights, lots of great tips and tricks about metaphysics and spirituality and all that good stuff. But the May issue of Mystic Circle magazine is all about Mystic Temple. So we did a special edition to announce and introduce you all to our light guardians. As you know, we're starting with 4 light guardians in 4 different locations in the US and in Mexico. And this is a chance for you to get to know them. They all have very interesting and dynamic stories, and you can really see their journey that they've taken, which can hopefully inspire you to uh, to to continue on this spiritual journey. And if you're just getting started, to actually start moving faster. You don't have to move faster. It's not about speed, but moving moving more strongly and more dedicated to this path. Because as you'll see in each light guardian story that they have been through things in their life, okay, and they have come out on top, and through they have come out on top through spirituality, specifically through Mystic Temple and specifically through my teachings, but in addition to that, through everything in life, right? Because our guides are guiding us, everything is guiding us. So I'm very, very proud of our light guardians, and I would love for you to get to know them better. So go to mysticcircletv.com/magazine, and we're going to put that link right here. And for those of you listening to the podcast, we're going to be putting that in the notes of the podcast. And in this issue, there's also a feature on me, and I'm talking all about Mystic Temple and what drove all of this and all of that. So it's a lot of great information. In addition, I also started a new column called Brews and Potions, giving you guys different recipes for different purposes for brews and potions to create and really infuse energy into everything that you do, because you know that's how I live. That is how I live. For those of you who don't know, now you know. I live through intention, which we talked about in the last Divinity session, but I live through intention and I live through energy. Everything that I have is infused with energy, and why not anything that comes into my body, right? Why not make sure that those brews and those potions, you know, they're infused with intention, they're infused with your energy and what it is that you want to actually be creating in your inner world, because that's the most important world, not this outer world. The inner world is the most important world. Why? Because that reflects in our outer world. Okay, so we're about to get started now. And so with Divinity session number 16. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and jump in to the passage for today, and it is as follows. We do what we have to see the light, and the light does come to us in our days of need. And we're going to stop there. That's a short one, but trust me, it is packed with lots of great things. All right, so first thing is I want to talk about is what they mean by the light in this passage. They're talking about what we have to do to see the light, and then also the light being there in our time of need. I want to be very clear that the light that they're referring to is dual. So they're referring to the light that is the universe, right? The cosmic collective consciousness, the entire everything, that all that is, right? That is the light. But remember, we are also the light. So they're referring to our inner world, just like I was saying earlier, our inner world and our outer world. When they're talking about this light coming through to us and is there when we need it, basically in our days of need. They're referring to the light within us. So we are there in our times of need, as well as the light that is perceived to be outside of us, that we are really connected to. So that's really what this is referring to when we're talking about the light. Now, another part of this passage that really, really stood out to me was the fact that it says, we do what we have to see the light. So I honed in on that have to, because to me that spoke volumes. We do what we have to. There's an obligation there. There's a reason why they chose to use those words. We do what we have to see the light inside of us and the light out there that we're connected to. We do what we have to. So what they're talking about is doing things that we have to do in our lives in order to bring this light out, in order to connect with this light. Because how else do you see the light? Seeing the light is connecting with the light, awareness of the light, but also wielding the light. The act of seeing connects with it a passive awareness, but also an active awareness. And this is emphasizing the necessity for you to take action on your spiritual journey, not to just coast through it. This is really talking about the importance of action, the importance of our participation, which we've talked about previously just a little bit in previous sessions. But it requires your active participation. It's very, very important that you understand that. The things that you have to do to see the light. So they're talking about your spiritual practices. How else can we see the light? How else can we see our inner light? How else can we see the light out there? Is our spiritual practices. And your spiritual practices can vary, right? There's some people that like to meditate. There's some people that like to connect with nature. There's some people that like to light candles. There's some people that like to interdimensional travel. There's a whole lot of different ways that you can connect with your light and do things with that light, right? But this is just referring to as a whole, the things that you have to do. You are obligated to do this. This is important to our journey. Our spiritual journey is just as important as our physical journey. We talked about that duality before. The reason why we are spiritual beings, but we are also physical beings, and we need to be spiritual in this life, which is why in the entire history of human beings, there have been spiritual practices in different forms throughout history, but there always have been spiritual practices because this is an important part of our journey. Our spiritual selves and our physical selves and our physical lives and all the things that are happening in our lives and where we want to go, our goals and things like that. But the second part of this passage says that the light is there in your days of need. In your days of need. So, taking the first part with the second part, what they're really saying is that as long as you are doing what you have to do, what you are obligated to do, which is getting on your spiritual path, taking it seriously, as long as you are doing those things, that light is going to be in there ready in your days of need. For those of you who have been in spiritual practice for a while and have been taking it seriously, because I know not all of you are, right? Yet, you will. But for those of you who have been taking your spiritual practice seriously, you can see this truth. You can see this truth because you know there have been times in your life where things are going crazy, right? And right when you need it, because you've already done some work, you've already learned how to connect. Boom, download. That saves the day, all right? Or that connection, something you receive is able to help you through what you need to go through. And you are protected through this journey. So what happens? Something happens and something swoops in and saves the day, whether that be through yourself and your own actions and thoughts and downloads, or through something from the outside coming in and some circumstances happen and boom, problem gone. How many times has that happened to you? Many, many times for those of you who have been on your spiritual journey. No one who is on their, I'm telling you right now, no one who is on their spiritual journey and serious about their spiritual journey and walking the walk, not just talking the talk, can tell me that that hasn't happened. It's because when you are connected, when you are serious about your spiritual journey, when you do what you have to do to see the light, then The light will be there in your time of need because it's already been nurtured. It's already been connected. Because remember what the book of Rashida said in the very first passage was we have been disconnected from our light. And why is the book of Rashida back here? To reconnect us so that the light can be there in our time of need. So I want you to understand that you are never, ever alone. And I've told you this before, you are never powerless and you are never alone. And so when you really connect with your light and you feel that light from within you and without, you feel that connection, you feel the vastness, the limitlessness of this energy force that runs through you, that is you. This is when you have that connection ready and it comes and it's there in your days of need. So, the importance of this passage really hones in on the importance of spiritual practice itself. Your spiritual practice. What are you doing in your daily life that is part of your spiritual practice? Are you doing those things? For those of you who couldn't resonate with the example I gave earlier, maybe you're not on your stuff. Maybe you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Maybe you're maybe you're talking the talk and not walking the walk. And this is the problem. So you have to be honest with yourself because I'm going to make you be honest with yourself. That's one thing I will do for sure is make you be honest with yourself, whether you like it or not. You have to be honest with yourself because how many times I'll tell you there have been many times where I help people all over the world. So I have a lot of clients, I have a lot of students who I teach everything to. I give them all the tools they need, all the tools they need. If they come back to me and say, "Oh no, this is happening in my life, this is happening in my life," I can tell by the way they're saying that and the things that the details that they're giving that they have not been on their spiritual practice. And then I ask them, have you been on your spiritual practice? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, that's why. All you have to do, it's this simple, people. It is very, very simple. Stay on your spiritual practice. And we're going to talk about what those spiritual practices are in a second. But stay on your spiritual practice. Because when you have a full, clean system, when your aura is clean because you've been on your spiritual practice, when you are connected to your light, not disconnected because you've been on your spiritual practice, life is easier because that light is there in your days of need. It's there way before you need it. You may not even have days of need because you've been on it so well. And remember what we talked about before in a previous divinity session about human suffering. What creates human suffering? Remember that. It's because you haven't been listening. So here's the thing. I want to say this as well. People stop doing their spiritual practice when they need it the most. This is universal, and I'm sure you can relate to this. You may start a meditation routine, a regimen, and you're doing that every single day. But then someone in your family dies, and you stop doing it. That's when you need it the most. Hello, people. That's when you need it the most. You can't stop your spiritual practice because things are going on in your life. If something's going on in your life, you should be doing it even more because that's when you need it even more. You should be doing it well before you need it. And the reason why is because I'm just going to use meditation as an example. And that's not the only thing. There's many things, but I'm going to just use meditation as an example. If you are meditating every single day and you are really connecting, and through that connection, there's going to be healing. There's going to be so many things that happen. When something actually does happen in your life, that's an upheaval, like someone passes away or you lose your job or whatever that is. You have your peaks and your valleys, right? You may be in a valley. When that happens, you're going to have so much resilience because you've been working on yourself. You've been doing the meditation, you've been doing the work. So when something actually happens, it's not going to crush you. It's not going to be so devastating. Not that it's not going to be devastating at all, but you're going to handle that a lot better than you would have had you not done that. Significantly better. So I want to say this again very, very clearly so that you guys understand and there are no mincing words, there are no miscommunications, okay? When you are going through bad things, don't stop your spiritual practices to deal with those things. Do your spiritual practices even more during those times, and you will get through those times a lot faster, a lot easier. Okay. Make sure also that you are doing your spiritual practices ahead of time. Get on it right now. This passage is talking about the importance of those things. And it's important because one, it'll limit your human suffering. We talked about that already before. Two, it's going to make sure that you can see your light, and so that your light will then be there for you when you need it. Now that I'm done yelling at you guys, we'll talk about we'll talk about the things that you can do to connect to your inner light and your outer light, right? So meditation, of course, is one of those things. Another thing is self-reflection and journaling. Self-reflection and journaling is super, super important. Why? Because just like I said earlier, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to make you see the truth in yourself. I need you to be honest with yourself. When you are honest with yourself, and sometimes we can't be honest with other people, or at least we feel like we can't. But when you are journaling, this is a conversation with yourself. And you are able to be more honest with yourself. And sometimes you may be hesitant to write something down that you're thinking because you don't want to face that truth with yourself. But you have to force yourself to do that. And when you do that, that inner work does wonders for your life, for your healing, for your letting go, your attachments, all the things that get in the way in this life. So self-reflection and journaling is really, really important. How does that connect you to your inner light? Being able to see the truth in yourself, you're able to actually clear out any clutter. Okay, so this is active. These are actions that you need to take. Reflective journaling and taking action to remove those things. And sometimes just the act of journaling and doing that inner reflection, that introspection, helps to release those things, and you're able to start to heal. Once you start to heal, your light is able to shine, because your light can't shine when it's under a bunch of mud. You got to clean yourself, right? We talked about my t-shirt analogy before, right? I'm going to say it again for those of you just jumping in. I like to uh, talk about our energy systems analogous to a white t-shirt. If you wore the same white t-shirt for 50 years or 30 years, or however old you are, without ever washing it, how nasty and disgusting and ratchet would that t-shirt be? Tattered and everything, right? That would be a really nasty t-shirt. This is your energy system if you are not doing your spiritual hygiene. And the reason why we want to make sure that we're doing our spiritual hygiene is so that t-shirt can stay white. If that t-shirt is white, our light can shine. If the t-shirt is nasty and ratchet and sooty, guess what? Your light's not going to shine. Imagine trying to shine a light through a dirty t-shirt, like the one I just described. Try to shine a light through that. Some light may show through, but you're not really going to see much. Now take a clean white t-shirt and shine a light through, and you'll see how that light shines. It's the same thing as our energy system and ourselves and our being. So doing these types of exercises and different things of spiritual hygiene help to actually connect us to our light more. Because while that light cannot shine, we also cannot connect to it because there's too much in between. There's too many blockages in there. We can sort of connect maybe if we try really hard with those things still on there, but we have to release. And this is also why the book of Rashida talks a lot about healing and releasing and letting go, because it's super important. It's a big part of our spiritual journey. And another way to connect to your light is mindful living. So we talked last time about living through intention. When you live through intention, you connect more to your light because you are more aware of, first of all, what it is you even want. In order to have an intention, you have to be somewhat connected to yourself to know what it is that you actually want in life, what intentions you need to have, right? So this also helps you connect to your light and helps your light shine more, because once you are connected to those things and you start to actually live intentionally, your light begins to shine more, because this is what it needs. This is what it wants. It's like, yes, this is life. Okay. And there are many ways that you can connect to your light, but another way is through creative expression. Because I want you to think outside of just the typical spiritual practices that you can think of, right? We often don't think of creative expression as a spiritual practice, but guess what it is? Why? Because when we are using our creativity, and this doesn't have to mean that you have to be an artist, you can be, or an actress, or whatever you think of as creative expression. Everything, we talked about this before, everything that you do is an act of creation. So when you have creative expression, that is coming out of you. That is allowing your soul, your light to fully shine into this world. So through the act of creative expression, however you do that, is also helping you to connect to your light. And especially when that creative expression has a spiritual element to it. It doesn't have to, though. You could be a painter and you are painting something. That is your creative expression coming out. But when you are doing it from I'm just going to use this as an example, when you are doing it from a deeper place of connecting to your spirit and allowing it to guide your brush on the canvas, that is a spiritual act of creative expression. So you can apply that to so many different things. And I hope your minds are working right now on how you can apply that in your life if you are not typically what you would think of as an artistic person. Remember, everything is an act of creation. Creating a business is creative expression. What are you here to give to the world? What are you creating for the world? And that is an act of creative expression. That is an act of putting your energy out there, but tapping in, and it's coming from you, especially when it is a purpose-driven business. Now, in a more spiritual way, let's talk about sacred devotion. So this is a concept that was downloaded from the Cosmic Collective Consciousness, which many of you have probably already been doing. For those of you who have really, really been into your spirituality, it's an act of devotion to that inner light as well as that outer light. So really, when you are devoted, when you create and you sit in communion with that light inside of you, meaning that you go within and you are connecting to your inner light, recognizing also connecting to the outer light, the universe, the all that is, right? This light that we are a part of, connecting to all of that at once and sitting just in devotion to that light, understanding that when you do an act of devotion to sacred light, you are doing an act of devotion to your own sacred light, to yourself, because we are the light. So sitting in devotion is kind of analogous to what some religions do in prayer. Not all of them, because some of them just ask for things. but when we're talking about the kind of prayer that where you are sitting in communion and you are really connecting, it's really more of a form of meditation, but not necessarily meditation fully. But sacred devotion is really showing that devotion to that light, understanding that that light is the utmost importance within you and around you. That is what is most important beyond anything else in this world that we try to give importance to, that we give certain values to. The light is the number one most important and valuable thing in this world, in all of the world, the true world, including this illusion. So having an act of sacred devotion, sitting down and just being in communion with yourself, being in communion with the universe, that is sacred devotion. Doing that once a day, a couple minutes a day, that changes lives. So much you will get out of that. You will get so much out of that. And there are no rules behind that, by the way. Sacred devotion, you can do that in any way you want to do it, as long as you are connecting. You can do it while you're on a walk. You could do it sitting down in a meditative kind of looking style, right? You could be taking a shower and you're doing it. So it's because it's in here and it's out there. So it's about a connection. So this is the name Sacred Devotion is what the Cosmic Collective Consciousness gave me as this, and they wanted me to share that today as one of the things that they want to put out with this particular passage because of the importance of this right now and the importance of it in your life right now. So I encourage you to do that, to start doing that. Start really taking your practice seriously. Start taking your spiritual journey seriously. Start putting it at the forefront of your life and stop putting it in the back seat, especially when you're going through things, especially when you're going through things. Also, studying the book of Rashida, that is an act of connecting to your light and connecting to the light. Okay? Studying the book of Rashida. You guys know you can see the book of Rashida on mystictemple.org. If you go to the menu option, there's a menu option that says Book of Rashida. Click on there. You can read the passages that we have released so far and dive deeper into those. I know some of you who have been watching these divinity sessions over and over again, and that's okay too. However you get it in, get it in. Whether you want to read it or you want to watch it. Either way, you need to be studying these words and really seeing how you can incorporate them into your life. And I will say again, if you are not part of our Facebook group, you definitely want to join because I'm helping to keep you guys present in the Facebook group as well. So again, go to the Mystic Temple Facebook group, just go to Facebook, type in Mystic Temple in the groups and you'll find it, or you can see this link down below and you'll get there. But definitely join the group because you're missing out if you're not in it. Also, sacred rituals. Sacred rituals and however you do them. If you are a Mystic University student, then you already know. We do a lot of rituals. We will be doing some more rituals for Mystic Temple as well. I've said last week I'm starting to put out some more instructions and tips and things like that. Putting that in our Facebook group. Again, go there and you can find them in the guides section. But I will be putting out more of that, and then we'll also be having some live things going on. Again, most of that's going to end up in the Facebook group, so make sure that you join there. But sacred rituals and ceremonies, super, super important and a great, great way, an easy way to connect to that light, to connect to yourself, to connect to the overall light, right? And when you do those things, right, and it could look like anything you want it to look like. So again, Mystic Temple, this is not a religion, this is a spiritual path. You can come from many different schools of thought when it comes to sacred rituals and ceremonies. And however you want to do them is fine, as long as you do them. But you can do a simple ritual that will help connect you more to your light. Just do it with that intention. You can do a ceremony that will help connect you to your light, that will help bring that light out, that will help cleanse you, that will help do a lot of things. So it's important that you incorporate these things into your daily life or weekly life, but regularly, not just waiting until you have a problem, but doing this regularly because, again, this is part of your spiritual hygiene. You should all be doing rituals. Everyone should be doing rituals. And I'm going to put some sample rituals in the actual Facebook group in the guide section so you guys can see that. So stay tuned for that because I just got that download just now, like right now. So give me some time to create them, and then and then they will be in the guide section in the Facebook group. Also, acts of service and kindness. These are also really, really important to your spiritual journey. And there is a reason why naturally when we give to someone, when we help someone, we naturally have these endorphins, we have dopamine effects, we have all kinds of things going on in our bodies naturally when we do that. Why? Because this is something that we are supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be doing good in this world. We're supposed to be doing good for others. And guess what? If the majority of the world thought this way, this would not be the world that it is. Okay? This would not be the world that we actually are experiencing right now. And this is why the Book of Rashida is here to bring that light back into this world. So when we're talking about acts of kindness and acts of service, these are things that are just doing something nice for someone. It doesn't have to be anything grand. It doesn't have to be anything big. It's just, even holding the door open for someone instead of just slamming it behind you and walking, or being more courteous to someone, or considering someone's feelings before you do an action that's going to hurt someone's feelings. You should be living your life in acts of kindness. And that doesn't mean you have to be kind to everybody no matter what. But what I'm saying is be in the life and walk the path of service and kindness to others, because this is what helps this world. This is what helps this illusion that we're in. Not anything else. That is what helps us. So making that a part of your life. But the reason why I said that doesn't mean that you have to be nice and kind to everybody no matter what is because sometimes people can take that and then let people run all over them. So that is not what I'm talking about. That is not at all what I mean, okay? I'm referring to you reaching a hand out and helping someone who needs it, who really needs it, not someone who's taking advantage of you, okay? We have to set boundaries, people. But what I'm saying is make sure that you are giving those acts of kindness, and you'll feel it when it's time to do that. When it's time for you to really reach out and help someone, which you should really always be reaching out and helping people. If you have people who you have the ability to help, don't pour from an empty cup. But if you have the ability to help someone who needs help, then help them. It's that simple. And especially when you feel guided to do so, because you will feel guided to do so if that is a soul contract. Sometimes we have these soul contracts with each other, and those soul contracts can only last for a minute. Sometimes it's someone that you don't even know, and it's an act of kindness for a stranger. But that was likely a soul contract. You were there at the time. You were that light that came through in their days of need. Remember that. Be that light. Be that light in your life and be that light in the lives of others. Another way to connect to this light is through nature. When you connect with nature, you are connecting with the light because the light runs through everything. And nature is one of the greatest examples of that because this is why we feel it when we connect to plants. For those of you who are very much nature people, and even those of you who aren't, go hug a tree. Try it. You'll love it. Connect to a house plant that you may have. Actually try to connect to that and see how that energy feels. Because when we are one with nature, nature heals us. It is our companion. Nature is our companion. When we are in nature, we feel grounded, we feel safe, we feel healed because we are. So connecting with nature helps you connect to your light. It also helps to brighten your light. And connecting to your spiritual community, super important. Okay, again, join the Facebook group, connect with this spiritual community. Connecting with others on a spiritual level, not only does it help you to connect to your own light, but it also helps to motivate you to continue down the path. And it also brings things to your awareness that you may not have been aware of because they may be being put in your path for a reason as well, to be your light in your days of need. That's what a spiritual community is for, and that's why we have built a spiritual community for Mystic Temple. So all of this is really, really important, and all of these are from, again, the Book of Rashida. And what are we doing? We are taking that, we are carrying that forward in action in this world. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. That's what we're all here for. That's what we're doing, okay? So I want to end this with a call to action for all of you to take your spiritual practices seriously, to put them at the forefront of your lives. Live a spiritual and intentional life, and you will see the difference. You will see a huge, huge difference. Live a spiritual and intentional life. This is what you need to do. This is what the Book of Rashida is calling you to do right now, is to remember the importance of your light. Remember the importance of the light. To remember that your incarnation here on this earth is to come into remembrance to who you really are. And how are you going to do that if you are not connected? How are you going to do that if you are not paying attention? How are you going to do that if you keep putting it in the back seat? Take it seriously and put it at the forefront of your life, and the light will be there for you in your days of need. Okay, now I'm going to do something that we have not done before. And the Cosmic Collective Consciousness has told me that it is okay to share this with you all. In fact, they told me to share it with you all. I'm going to teach you all a sacred mantra in the divine language. When you say this, understand that this is going to connect you more to your light. This is going to allow your light to expand, and you will feel it. Anyone who is, and I'm already feeling it, I haven't even started it yet. I got tingles just now. All right, so anyone who is able to feel energy and is tapped in, you will feel it right away. For those of you who may not be fully tapped in yet, you'll probably still feel it. But if you don't, it's okay. Just keep with it and you will start feeling it because this is powerful and strong. So we're going to do that right now really quick. And I want you to know you can do this mantra anywhere, anytime. You can do it for 2 minutes. You can do it for 5 minutes. You can do it for an hour. The more you do it, the stronger it will get for you. and the more you'll feel it, the more powerful your energy and the brighter your light will get. So what we're going to say is Ema Briel. Now, for those of you that this in the divine language, the R does roll. So if you do not know how to roll your R's, you can just do your best, and that's okay. But it's Ema Briel, Ema Briel, and I'm putting that here so you can. I'm going to put here the actual spelling of it and then the phonetic pronunciation of it as well. Ema Briel. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Just repeat after me. I want you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. Take another deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. One more time, a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. Shake out your shoulders, your neck, relax. Start breathing normally now. Bring your awareness inside of you to the energy that's flowing through your body. Bring your awareness to your light within. And repeat after me. Ema Briel. 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 And continue to breathe and feel that buzzing, feel that light awakening inside of you. And you can begin to open your eyes. And you should have felt that amazingness. You can do that for longer. Definitely, I would suggest you do that for at least 2 minutes. That would, I feel that all in my back. But hopefully you felt that. It was very, very powerful. As I told you, anything in the divine language is extremely, extremely powerful. Normally I'm not supposed to be teaching that language to anyone, but they told me that that was okay to give you guys that mantra. And I guess they'll be giving more mantras as well. But yes, that mantra is very, very powerful. So remember that and stick with it and do that in your daily practice. And this is one way that you can connect yourself to your light and really start to brighten it and really start to make it more powerful and strong. And when it is more powerful and strong, guess what? Let's talk about practicalities. Your manifestations are going to get better. Your life is going to get better. Everything, sometimes you'll just want something and it just happens for you without you having to, do anything to actually manifest it. So this is the brilliance of how connecting to our light can really make our lives easier, can really enhance our physical lives here on this planet. And with that being said, I'm going to now say the ending prayer in the divine language, which essentially means peace be unto you. Zor Kumti. And I'll see you next time. Like guardians, raise them up, divinely chosen. Take the torch, and help us move forward down this path of destiny, spreading the light in this world. This time we are all free. Disciples of truth, disciples of the divine mother.
disciples of the